Yes, my finger's on the trigger. So the question is Glock done? Is the Glock Dynasty over? I have a long history with Glock, being both a Glock stocking dealer and making some competitive guns out of polymer 80s. I have a long history with Glock, but this is a question that a lot of people are asking right now. And if you're kind of a gun enthusiast but don't know a lot about Glock, this may help you. I'm going to back up for a little bit. December 2023, Gaston Glock, the founder of Glock, I don't know if he was the inventor of the striker fire or not, but I believe that he was definitely one of the biggest proponents of this platform. He died in December of 2023. And in every major organization, it's a family-run organization or a family-started company, when that patriarch dies, there's a change that goes to them. You look at the legacy, you look at what they've done over the decades, and you try to decide, okay, do we need to take a different direction? And so it really didn't make the news, but in November of 24, last year, like exactly a year ago this month, Glock did some major layoffs. And then subsequent to that, that was November 24, so a few months later, sometime the end of, I think the spring this year, we got word that Glock was getting ready to discontinue. It was 18 or 19 models of Glocks, and I went, whoa, like really? Like they're gonna stop making these? And a lot of them were the 40 cals, things that didn't sell so well. I think the Glock 34s and the Glock 17s, those, some 9mm also were in there. But I think Glock was experiencing a couple things. Let me tell you, if I can, real quickly, like where I began with Glock. We were a Glock stocking dealer something like 8 or 9 years ago. Kept that Glock stocking dealership for a couple of years. And then I had a really strange experience with Glock about 3 or 4 years ago. I called in, our rep wasn't in or not available or out on leave or something, so they forwarded me to, I ended up talking with the Vice President of North American Sales. And said, hey, we've been a Glock stocking dealer, we've moved our locations, we're going to be in a new facility, and we're thinking about becoming a Glock stocking dealer again. I didn't remember how to do that, didn't know how to do that, and he was like, well, I don't, what's the name of your company? And so I told him, he said, I don't have a record if you haven't been a Glock stocking dealer. I said, well, we were for 2 or 3 years, something like that. And I said, we had a better location, new location for retail sales. We're thinking about, redoing that again. He said, well, you've never been a Glock stocking dealer. I said, no, we have been a Glock stocking dealer, but it was just, a couple years ago. He said, look, like, I don't have you in my records. If I don't have you in my records, you've never been a Glock stocking dealer. I said, and it was like a real strange tone. I was like, whoa, so you're telling me that these shirts and these signs and these, this contract that I have and this information that's in my Glock folder, this is just it just showed up accidentally, right? So we had a strange conversation. We ended up deciding to become a Glock stocking dealer again. But ever since then, I've had kind of a bad taste in my mouth for Glock. Now, for those of you who are Glock fanatics, look, they do make great guns. Every time you pull the trigger, they go bang. This is an older one. This is a G19 Gen 3, Glock 19 Gen 3. It's a decent gun. A lot of history with that gun. A lot of military history with that gun. My first experience shooting Glock was when I was very, very young. My dad had a Glock 19. And then, I've owned the Glock 21. I didn't like it. I've owned the Glock 26. I really never cared for it. I've owned the Glock 22. A couple of them, never really cared for it. As a duty weapon, I settled on the Glock 17 because a lot of the guys that I worked with had 17s and 19s. I've settled on a 17. Good gun. They always went bang. But I never went and went, I really love this gun. I just love this gun. And I was teaching a class about, I'm going to get to the point here in a minute, but there's a lot of things that have changed the Glock Dynasty, and I want you to get this. I don't think Glock is done. I think Glock needs to retool, and they're doing that right now, but I don't know if they're doing it the right way, and I'm going to share with you what's happening, is we know what's inside the new Glock. So, well, we kind of know. we kind of know. But anyway, I was teaching a class, I know when it was, 6 years ago. It was March 6 years ago, teaching a class. I had a couple people come out to the range, and I was carrying a Glock 19 at that point. I hadn't shot anything I liked a whole lot better, nothing I could afford at the time anyway. Like, you know, there was better guns, but like I was not going to spend the money that it took to get some of the better CZs or things that I thought were nicer guns. So we get down to the point of choosing guns for the day. I go inside. I've got 5 brand new Canik TP9 SC Elites. Matter of fact, if you've seen the videos, 180,000 views on the video, something like that. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna try this new gun. These people never shot, they don't know anything about guns. They'll never know that I have a gun that I never shot before. So I put the 19 in the safe. I get one of the brand new TP9 SC Elites out. We go out to the range. I start going through the gun with them, and I saw how easy the Canik was to break down, like super easy, much easier than a Glock. And then I'm going to get this in a hurry. Got to the point where you started shooting off rounds, and I went, man, to myself, like, my God, this is like a great trigger. Like, this is a really great trigger. And I didn't feel myself fighting with the trigger to get on target, and I was hitting target every time. And so I finally, normally with newbies, you know, do 1 shot and then you do 3 shots, and this is after we go through the gun some. And I'm killing the target. I'm going, man, I love this gun. I literally sold my Glock 19 to a friend. I carried that TP9 SC Elite for 5 years. Loved the gun. And then I finally changed guns about 5 months ago, 5 months ago, I think. And I'm now carrying the Canik Prime, the Mete Prime. Awesome trigger, compensated. I've already had it in a couple of videos. But I'm telling you all this to tell you that there are a lot of guns out there that are better, in my opinion, suited for an everyday person than a Glock 19 is. Now, when Glock announced that they were getting rid of those 18 models, we all started questioning ourselves, like, you know, what's going on? Now, I had sat through the Glock Armorers class, gosh, it's probably been 2.5, 3 years ago now. I sat through the class, and I think I did that because, you know, we were Glock stocking dealer. You always want to hear what's new. You want to hear what the guy teaching the class has to say. So everybody there was cool. The only bad experience I had with anybody from Glock was only with that, you know, Vice President of North America. I don't even remember his name anymore. It doesn't matter. But everybody teaching the class was cool, and they said, yeah, we're, you know, this is when they were coming out with the, you know, the enhanced trigger. And so he's talking about the trigger, and one guy in class raises his hand. He says, you know, well, the instructor's saying this trigger's, you know, this trigger's great, takes a couple pounds off, I think is what he said. He said it's an option that you can always add on to a Glock. And so the guy sitting in the class raised his hand, and then the instructor called on him, and the guy said, why don't you just put that trigger in the gun to start with? And the guy teaching the class said, hey, you know, look, I'm just delivering the message, like, don't shoot the messenger. It's a very valid question. Like, he just went, like, I don't know, that seems like a no-brainer. It seems like a really dumb thing to not do, to put a better trigger in when you got a better trigger. I think, you know, had he told the truth behind that, they wanted to sell you a $150, $200 trigger, whatever the thing cost. They wanted to upsell you on the new trigger so that they could make more money off of it. Well, you're already paying a premium for a Glock. I found out at one point that Glock was charging the NYPD, it was under $200. Now, this is years ago. It was under $200 for the brand new Glocks for, if this is true, for the state of New York with this god-awful 10-pound trigger or something like that. And then at the end of their, you know, contract, then they would take them back in or resell the guns. It was a way, I guess, to get guys hooked on Glocks. But you know, they dumped approximately 18 models this year. They've had to redesign the entire gun. They've done it at the pressure, I think, some of California. You know, California Newsom, who's just a total, absolute freaking two-celled amoeba. I can say a lot of nasty things, but the guy just, he's not dim-witted. He's just a communist. So they have said they will not sell them in California anymore, which he can't do. Like, this is going to end up being one of those lawsuits that he'll probably lose. And I think we've already got several states that can't have high-capacity magazines for guns. You know, we got New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, you know, Washington, I think, you know, obviously California. And so they're caving to the pressure. Well, we got the schematics of the inside of the new Glock GV19, I think is what it was. I think it was, or GV45. I can't remember now. And what they've done to the inside of the gun, I'm going to just take this thing apart. So what they've done to the inside of the gun is this back area here has been really, really the problem where these kids or anyone else is making plastic devices to take off this back plate on your slide right here. This back plate comes out, and then they can insert a plastic piece that then fits in between the space here in the back of the gun, and you can make it fully auto. So the new one, based on the schematic that we looked at, looks like the inside of Smith & Wesson M&P, like very, very similar. And it appears to be more of a clone of that gun than what the old traditional striker fire was of Glock. But the real question is Glock's Dynasty done? So I'm sure some guys that come in our shop regularly with their Glocks and brag and talk about what they've done to them are going to see the video. But they'll come in and they'll say, yeah, I got a new trigger and I got a compensated barrel and I had my side compensated and drilled out and I got the MOS so I could put an optic on it. There's all these discussions about what they've done to their Glocks, and I love asking how much you got invested into it now. And they may have bought it from us, but they went out and they bought a new trigger, and they may have literally had the slide compensated, or they may have had it milled to put an optic on it if they couldn't find an MOS. By that point they've got $900 to $1,100 invested in a gun. That's a Canik Meta. What is this? I forget what this is. I can't see it. MC9LS. This is a Canik Meta MC9LS. This does not come with a compensated slide or a compensated barrel, but it does come with an excellent trigger. It's slimmer than the Glock. It's a $450, $500 gun. The one that I'm carrying is the MC9 Prime. The Prime comes with a compensated barrel, slide, the upgraded trigger. I mean, it's got everything you can do to the gun. An MOS cutout on the slide up here, the slim one, and you can put an optic on the thing. I mean, it's a $600 gun, whereas it is on a Glock to do all those things. So you're going to have $1,100 probably by then invested. I just think that Glock is going to have to they're going to have to really look at, hey, CZ is killing us. We've got these handmade, custom-made guns, Atlas Erebus out there that's super expensive, but people want nicer, better guns. You got Canik that's killing them right now. I mean, we're selling Canik 5 to 10 to 1 probably the Glocks. Walther's making some phenomenal guns now. Some of the new Smith & Wessons have great triggers. They've really stepped up to the competition that Canik has given everyone. Glock's not going to be done. They're not going to be out of business, but their control and demand is going to decline considerably. It was a really good thing that happened to Glock whenever the SIG P320 had such an issue with going off, and a couple people got killed apparently by them, which is still some questions about what actually happened. But let me just tell you, if you're looking at buying a gun right now and you're going to compare, trigger and accuracy and reliability and features such as, cut out for a slide or compensated barrel, you look at some other things before you spend a bunch of money on a Glock. I can't find the reason anymore. They're still great guns. They're going to pick them up, they're going to go bang, but you can get something else for, less money that already has all the nice features you're going to go want to put on the Glock to make it a great gun. I hope this is informative. There is change. There's always an economic paradigm where things change and people start looking at other options after a while, and Glock's going to have to really, really step up their game. Hey, like and subscribe, would you?